So the Smithsonian, the museum itself is fine. They have some good exhibits, and if you can go and you like that kind of stuff, sure, go. I'm all for educational stuff.
Museums are pretty good.
Well, but the problem with the Smithsonian is that
They hide everything.
they want to control the narrative.
Yes.
Like there are some things I promise you, this is gonna sound crazy, but you just can't trust that this Smithsonian has it. Like it is intentional narrative control.
Yes. If you think you know your history, wrong. The Smithsonian has controlled your history.
So it's cool to go see the artifacts, and in fact, some of the stuff you're being told is fine, like the more sciencey stuff. But once it becomes like the social agenda or like a certain skewing of history, I think this isn't unique to the Smithsonian. It's you just gotta be careful when people are teaching you or telling you about stuff. You have to pay attention if they're just telling you facts or if it's manipulation.
You know what's really dumb? There was a law passed that any museum that had Native American artifacts museums had
to that.
Oh, okay. Well, you want me to go ahead and tell
I'm going to get to that, but no,
Okay.
not right now because that's a focal point.
Okay.
But yes, it is absolutely dumb. And I told Andy about it already.
Yeah, I just started stealing them.
But
just start.
But I'm gonna kind of start a little
Who started it?
more vague.
Your mom.
I'm gonna start a little more. No,
I tried to keep a straight face, Jeremy. I'm sorry.
Who started what?
The Smithsonian.
I
James Smithson.
don't remember.
You know what he said about it? He said something to the effect that he left a fortune in the United States, and he was like, "Hey, everything used in with my fortune is to collect and for the accurate and complete diffusion of knowledge, like to keep it intact. So to see what it's turning into now is bad."
Yeah. So for over 100 years, they have it allegedly. I say allegedly. It's not alleged. We have documentation. We have proof. This is not alleged. Some of it might be, and I'll try to point out the stuff that's like, hey, this might be far-fetched or maybe stretched compared to what we know is true. But they've received things that or taken things that contradict mainstream versions of history.
Yeah.
And it either disappears or they don't know where it is or you can't look at it. Like that stuff just goes away. And then they start saying, if you say anything else about it, you're crazy. Let's just do that.
And they ruin people's careers.
Yes, and they ruin people's careers over it. So in the 1800s and early 1900s, there were over 1,000 reports of skeletons across the U.S. that were over 7 feet tall.
Yes.
Right? There were giants buried in Ohio.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
Ohio, West Virginia, Iowa, Nevada, Alabama, and more. Right?
Much more.
Right? But like these are like the ones that were like really big and well known were the ones there.
There's literally
pretty much every state.
There's literally photos in the local newspapers that show these skeletons.
So you have to be careful with the photos, and I'm not saying this for you because I don't know what you're looking at.
I'm looking at everything wrong.
But there are photos that are
fake,
that are fake, and not just like, oh, people can fake it. But there was a period where they were like
100%.
There was a contest to make stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so some of that stuff that wasn't made nefariously, people saw, and it's like, oh, look at these giant bones, and then it got circulated. So not everything you see, obviously, and I mean, if you're on the internet, you should just know not everything you see.
Don't trust anything you see.
But
on the interwebs.
there are some genuine pictures too, like you said, in some newspapers back in the day, of them finding these bones of tall people. Excavations in 1912 and 1924 found over 10,000 artifacts, giant sandals that estimated for someone who was 8 to 9 feet tall, clothing that was way too big for normal people, reports of red-haired mummified remains with evidence of cannibalism and an extreme fire damage consistent with some Native American oral history. And the Smithsonian came in and said, "Oh, we'll take this," and then took the artifacts to the Smithsonian and had their experts look into it. And when people would later on say, "Hey, can we see the skeletons? Can we go over it?" They were like, "Oh, we don't know where they are." Oh,
Conveniently misplaced.
oh
them.
yeah, we got them, but we don't know where they put them, or we don't have them at all. It never
Dude,
happened.
Like, if you're gonna lie to me, come up with a better lie. That's so
And
stupid.
so the Smithsonian started putting out articles and paying for articles to discredit and downplay any claims of giants. And now their official stance is there's never been any giants found in the U.S. Never. That's their stance.
Yeah.
In 1892, they found some stone coffins in Crump's Cave in Alabama.
Crump's Cave?
Do you know about this one?
No, I just thought you said Trump.
Yeah, they found some coffins in Trump's Cave over in Alabama. No,
Crump's Cave.
Cave in Alabama. The coffins were 7 to 7.5 feet long. They were hollowed out and fitted with stone lids. And I saw pictures of these. They look like coffins.
Hmm.
And it was weird because this was found in Native American burial areas, but Native Americans didn't use coffins.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and the craftsmanship was not something that Native Americans in the region would have been doing or were known for. So, Smithsonian came in and took the coffins,
Of course.
put it in their warehouse.
Do they just like hoard things?
Yes.
And then
yeah.
if so, like, let's say you're an archaeologist and you're like on the trail or a scientist or something, and you're like, okay, I need to study this. Is there like a whole process of just saying, hey,
Yes.
can I go study this?
Yeah, you.
And it's up to them whether it's yes or no.
My understanding is it's two things. One, it's to keep it safe while it's not on display because they'll rotate
Right.
stuff out. So they got to
Right.
put their displays are not out anywhere in a warehouse, and it keeps it safe. And they do cleaning on them when they're there typically, and they'll do maintenance kind of stuff
Yeah.
or studies and stuff. But yeah, that's what I was about to say. People who are in the experts in the field can contact them and say, "Hey, I want to look at them."
Okay.
Set up stuff to go do that because in 1950, Frederick Pohl, who was an investigator in research, contacted them and said, "Hey, I learned about these coffins you guys have. Can I come see them?" And the Smithsonian said, "Yes, we have them, but we don't know where they are."
Clerical error.
Right, which is something I've said repeatedly, but that's what they have. Well, we got them, but we don't know. And then they never did any follow up. They never got back to him with anything. Never explained anything. They just said, "Oh yeah, we received them, but where are they?"
Insane.
So in 1992, someone else followed up, said, "Hey, I want to see them." And the Smithsonian didn't say their same lines this time. They said, "Oh, there are no coffins. We never received coffins. What we got were wooden troughs. What you're referring to are ancient or Native American wooden troughs." And the guy pushed back. He was like, "First of all,
Like,
the Native Americans didn't even have wooden troughs.
yeah, like that doesn't
Second
make
of all,
sense.
Second of all, the troughs don't have stone lids you put on them."
Yeah,
And-
make that make sense.
And the Smithsonian basically went back to him and said, "Yeah, you can't see these," and said, "Well, we do have them, but they're in a warehouse that's contaminated with asbestos. We're cleaning it." And he said, "Well, how long will that take?" And they said, "At least 10 years."
It's been 10 years.
How can you just
That was in
put a
1992.
complete halt to somebody's work?
And they never got back. Dude never got to see them, and they just no
Because-
one's ever seen them.
Because they have power.
That's so
That's why.
stupid.
If you have power, then oh well. Sucks to be the little guy.
In 1909, I know Andrew likes this topic.
Bet.
The Grand Canyon,
Ooh.
the Egyptian.
Uh-huh.
There was never no Grand Canyon.
So the Kincaid
the large
expedition,
canyon.
where Kincaid was a guy, he found tunnels in the Grand Canyon with hieroglyphs resembling Egyptian scripts and copper and bronze weapons, and like it was like a living area.
Yeah.
Like it was a big thing. And he found mummies, and he actually took some stuff out of there to bring back with him. But obviously it was 1909. He couldn't take pictures. So he was just, describing it and said, hey, we got to get more people to do this, because this is big enough for like 50,000 people to live in for months. It's too big to explore by yourself. So by one person. So, hey, let's come back and so the Smithsonian supposedly did a follow-up expedition. And then shortly after that, it was like, you can't go here anymore. And they closed it all off. And now you can't do that. And I was listening to the Y-Files talking about this.
Shout out.
Did you see his thing on it, Andrew?
I've listened to a lot of his episodes. I can't quite remember.
He called the Smithsonian.
So.
He called the Smithsonian, got put on hold. Got on after being on hold for a while. A lady got on there. They transferred him to, and he just mentioned the name, and she goes, "Let me stop you right there. There are no Egyptians stuff ever found."
Dude,
in North America, not in the Grand Canyon or anywhere, and started just basically like shutting down everything before getting started, saying, nope, didn't happen, doesn't exist. That guy never existed. There's no record of him.
Forget storming the Capitol. Let's storm the Smithsonian.
And then he said, so I guess you don't want to talk about giants either. And she just said goodbye and hung up.
Yeah. Well,
they want like their official stance is never happened, and will not talk about it.
I get that, but at the same time, if you're that receptionist, the amount of people that have called you about that too.
She said she gets the call once or twice, and it's not a receptionist; it's someone they transfer them to.
Oh,
she's in a room by herself, and if that thing rings, say it didn't happen.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I know that they're covering everything up, like 100%. I'm not giving them any benefit of the doubt. I'm just saying, like, if it was a receptionist, but it's not. So continue.
And so I'm gonna kind of go over this quicker. The Smithsonian has taken an isolationism view on the Native Americans, meaning the tribes were relatively self-contained and didn't really branch out and communicate with anybody other than like maybe neighboring tribes they fought with. But like one tribe on the East Coast knew nothing of the West Coast.
Yeah.
And knew nothing of South America, knew nothing of anything across the ocean. That's the view that the Smithsonian has taken of history for them.
And that's false. I mean,
there's evidence has been presented that they did
100%,
and they dismiss it and say no.
Well, look, here's the thing. Going back to the previous episode of the ancient cities around North America, if those cities were as large as the pictures were showing, they are sophisticated tribes.
Yeah.
Sophisticated cultures. Yep. And there's even a I didn't even bring this up during that episode, but there's a extremely long road that goes a couple 100 miles that there's still very few remnants of it that people are getting of LiDAR. It goes from one city to another. Extremely straight. And like I said, I believe it's like 150 miles long. And
like you have to have some sort of technology to do that. Or knowledge of how to build these things.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, they were connected. I mean, they were connected. They fought all the time.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
All the time, but they knew about each other.
And they didn't just know about each other, but they knew about other nations.
They had to have.
They traded with, there's evidence, we don't know for fact, but there's a lot of evidence to suggest that they traded with other people from.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know how to pronounce this correctly, it's the Akambaro artifacts. I know you know about them, even if you don't remember, because I heard about these.
Sounds good
General
to me.
Akbar?
No.
Admiral.
There's 33,000, and I have a couple pictures in Discord that I'll put on. But there's 33,000 artifacts that they found where it was independently authenticated. It was properly dated by people studying it. to be like 6,000 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's different races of people, these figures of different races of people that, again, more evidence that they were interacting with people from overseas through some way or another. And it had them, like I said, ethnic diversity, advanced symbolism, and the best part is that there were a couple of dinosaurs with people riding on them.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The Smithsonian
The real Jurassic Park.
said, we'll look into it, and then immediately said, nope, these aren't real.
Yeah.
It's a hoax. And then they took all of them and said, it's ours now, threw it in storage, and said, no one's allowed to look at these ever again.
Correct.
Question for you. When you say they just took them, does that mean like they have federal backing or authority
Yes.
to just do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Yes.
Because-
stupid.
Which leads to what Andrew was trying to say is that there's a law that was passed or bill or whatever that says if anyone obtains and anyone at a level, federal or anything, obtains Native American artifacts, I don't remember if it's like you have to or if it's only if the tribes ask. I don't remember which way it goes. But if the tribes ask, or maybe even no matter what, you have to return it to them. You can't keep it except the Smithsonian. It explicitly says the Smithsonian has the right to keep it regardless, but anybody else has to give it back to them.
Smithsonian bad.
Which is stupid. First of all, I think that rule is stupid at all. I think if you find artifacts that are 1,000 years old or even 500 years old and they belonged to a tribe, the tribe doesn't get to just say, that's mine, you can't have it. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like
It's yours.
I know. I think that's like if people are doing not and people are trying to destroy it, whatever. But like if you're like, hey, we want to study it to learn more, they shouldn't be able to say, well, we want it, it's ours. It's like you have no claim to it.
Then you should have kept it.
But whatever, they want to do that. The fact that the Smithsonian gets a pass and can just keep these things, and that's what they do. That's what they keep doing is something comes up that is against the mainstream history, and they criticize it, get the media to criticize it, take it, and then say, oh, we never had it, or we don't know where it is.
Yeah, because they have federal backing, so they know everything, right?
And it's just like they're trying to control a narrative instead of being the pursuit of knowledge. I don't necessarily think every single conspiracy thing we should believe. Right? Like, I don't think necessarily we should say, oh, people were actually riding dinosaurs back then, which is something people have come to the conclusion of. But it's like, let us study it.
There's evidence of oh man, I forgot exactly what year it was, but there's stories and depictions of a Chinese emperor having what they call dragons pulling his chariot, and along with Alexander the Great too. I believe it was Alexander the Great that saw that happening. It was I can't remember details.
So he immediately said, I got to conquer these people. They're going to get out of hand.
But there's historical records that suggest that there were, quote, dinosaurs
Yeah.
pulling around chariots for the wealthy and being a beast of burden also.
Do you think Noah used them?
Possibly. I mean, he had to have used...
I just imagine him riding some big old dinosaur.
What if that's how they did the pyramids?
Exactly. That
well,
too.
I know for a fact
Where's the bones?
that
Under
there
the
were
pyramids?
there was creatures that was alive during that time that are extinct now. I mean,
Yes.
that's
Mammoths.
obvious, right? I mean,
Woolly.
there's creatures that were been extinct for 100 years now.
Yeah, saber-toothed tiger.
I mean, that's a fact. There were creatures that were very different than what we have today that have all been extinct and gone away. So what he used as a beast of burden during that time, I mean, the guess is as good as yours. My guess is good as yours. So, but I mean, there's other depictions also, I believe it was a few cave drawings that had people riding Triceratopses too, and not just the little figures carved out of stone. I mean, there's a lot more evidence of people interacting with dinosaurs
Yeah.
than people realize. And of course, there are some fake ones out there.
Yeah,
there's
I
some
mean,
fake ones, absolutely.
There's always people that are going to make hoaxes too, just to try to get some
Right.
sort of accolade to go along with
That'd be so
their
cool.
name.
I
But-
also think that some hoaxes are made intentionally to get found to discredit it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not
That'd be-
dinosaurs specifically, but
Yeah, that'd be so cool to be the first guy come riding into the village with Triceratops.
Well,
Look what I got, Andrew.
that's about all I have, though.
I mean, we could go in with.
There's a lot.
There's so much that has to do with the Smithsonian.